Myself, Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the one topic basically which says that basically one World Bank person basically is telling that I am going to help you for the finding the job. For that basically he told that basically I will give you the job basically. So like this basically the discussion is between the World Bank person basically and that particular person basically. So here basically I have taken example of myself basically. But in real basically there is no like World Bank person basically. We are just telling that one virtual World Bank person is basically there, and one discussion basically that is ongoing. So the discussion basically which has reached to that is the Earth planet basically has created lots of things basically. The Earth planet has created lots of things. So in this basically we discussed that A is A to Z, 0 to 1, and many symbols basically are there. Just example basically the keyboard basically. The keyboard basically which you find, that basically is the example. The entire keyboard basically is connected with the universe basically. If I say that keyboard equal to set of planets, then it would be 100% correct basically. For example, A keyword, it contains hundreds of crores of planet. B, C, D, E, F. Like this, basically, entire keywords basically contains entire character. Basically, you can say in English language, basically, it's called alphabetical characters. Basically, of the keyboard. Basically, that basically is containing each and every planet. Basically, so that contain each and every planet means it contains single alphabet contains more than 100 crore planets. Basically, it's not so basically uh, easy. Basically, also. And in this creation basically it might be mostly basically this generation only basically might be creating this planet basically. So one person told that basically in one day basically I think one planet easily basically the universe group basically might be preparing. Then he told that basically might be, so that means basically the earth planet basically is playing very dangerous role basically, you can say. If in one day basically the entire basically mostly one day this much planet basically easily basically they might be getting prepared basically, but to prepare finalize basically that might be taking the time. But one planet mostly basically it's basically can't say because this way only basically the entire plan basically get executes, or basically it might possible that it might be taking some time basically. So any time basically might be possible. So here basically the thing was basically um, like this the planets basically gets creates, and each and every planets basically are connected with this that. Then basically we discussed about the global warming issue basically, and the percentage basically we divided into the set of categories. And then basically in this basically the major was education and software industry. Education industry contains 20 percentage of the data, and 20 percentage of global warming data. And then basically 20 percentage is the software industry, basically they are containing global warming data. In this basically we discussed that also basically that global warming basically data is actually what, that also basically we discussed. So that is also basically one of the topic basically that we are going to discuss. Then basically one of the person told that you want to say that education system basically has created some problem. Then he told that basically education system basically has not created the problem. The creation basically might be some creating problem basically. For example, he told that basically a character is there, then basically the set of words are there, then the set of words basically converted into set of paragraph converted into paragraphs, then it's converted into one book basically. So that book basically, when you basically write one book basically, there should be some sequence basically, right? After this paragraph, after this paragraph, this paragraph. So understanding basically of the person basically, so what he is understanding and what basically the books basically is supposed to understand that particular person. And if he is understanding, then basically which type of energy basically is getting generated from the particular person's body basically, that is the main thing basically. Because this basically MBA book basically when it was created that time basically, this was mostly might have tested also, but it might not have tested to each and every blood groups basically, right? Mostly it might not have tested to each and every blood groups. So slowly basically the MBA degree basically has tested also basically. So MBA basically book equal to 1,000 cities. So when one paragraph basically is written, then the another paragraph is written, another paragraph, then third paragraph. Like this basically you can say that each and every paragraph basically which you are reading, that basically exists in the environment basically. That basically the sequence paragraph basically exists in the environment basically. Up to that level basically the things basically are connected. If it's not existed, then basically the set of words basically are, because if people says that basically one person basically told that good, so good basically is a one word, right? Bad is one word basically. So it can be used in MBA also, it can be used in science also, it can be used in commerce, it can be used in arts also basically, right? Then he told that basically which good is going to become basically in that particular person's brain basically. Then he told that basically that is basically very dangerous basically. So that's why basically he told that basically the paragraph basically are dumped into the environment basically. So whatever good bad basically is going to come, that is going to come from this paragraph only basically. Then basically one of the person basically told that basically books basically which is written in the form now basically people basically do write exactly same words basically in the exam also basically, and few people basically write according to their understanding basically and with their basically words and their languages basically. So that basically is also basically thing. So which basically data attracts, that basically was the question basically. So one person told that basically one paragraph which you read basically, that basically by default it get attracts. Another person is also writing same thing basically, that also gets attracted. Now, without basically he first basically understand what actually the paragraph is written, then basically he'll written in the form of the his own format basically. So like this also basically are there. So whatever things basically it generates the energy basically, and whatever energy basically it generates the percentage level basically. For example, if you are reading one book basically, one person is reading one MBA book basically, he completed the entire book, assume that entire book he understood and he got 90 percentage. So that time basically which type of global warming basically is going to come, that basically question basically is there basically, because this whole thing basically the government the student basically is not supposed to know. Student basically say that basically we are just studying the basically we will study, or we will basically say that basically what basically this book has generated from the energy basically. Then basically person told that basically the nuclear power company are there, energy companies are basically, they basically takes care of each and everything basically. Then one person told that basically yes, that are basically there, but they can basically do up to certain level na, basically. If you are going up to beyond, then basically they can't handle the things basically. Like this basically is also basically there. So basically he told that basically you have to rewrite the entire education system basically, or basically do something basically, because 20% global warming basically are coming from the 22 blood groups basically. So he told that basically we can't change the syllabus here basically. If we can't change the syllabus basically, because if you are changing the entire book syllabus basically, then the buildings, what about that buildings basically which has created 100 building MBA equal to 1000 buildings that is created na basically. If we change the syllabus basically, then the entire building basically has to modify. That is not possible basically. Then he told that basically that is also correct basically. Then basically how this problem will get solved basically. Then basically he told that basically that is also correct. Yeah, basically how this problem will get solved basically. Then temporary basically they might have found some um energies basically, you can say. Few people says that basically digital world is also basically there. Digital world basically takes the each and every energy basically in the fast format and they convert into the digital format, and then basically they dump into the human body basically. Then basically he told that basically then basically it is going to generate the digital energy na basically. Then he told that yes, basically it's going to generate the digital energy. Then one person told that basically if it's going to generate the digital energy, that means you want to say the future planning basically they are doing like this basically. Then they told that basically they pick few bodies for the future planning also basically. So it might possible that they might have picked that body for future planning, that is a digital examination basically, which is might going to happen in future basically for the MBA student. So he might be possible that basically he might be, because they only basically can experiment with the existing group basically. So they basically literally do the plan for this particular year. Basically, we are going to do this all basically experiment with the student basically, because they can do experiment with the students only basically. And if the student basically gets experiment success, then basically they take care of their student also basically. They give good admissions basically in the companies, sorry, give good job in the companies basically, because he had succeeded with the experiment basically. That's why basically. But this experiment basically mostly basically will get habit basically, because this person basically was good in habit, good in the experiment, so basically we will take this person only basically. So that's converts to habit basically. So that is basically good or also bad also, that basically we can't say basically. Because that person basically is going to use in the human need creation, then basically each and everything basically whatever things basically happens, then he is only going to be used. So like this basically there are many people basically created who basically are used in the experiment purpose of the each and every nuclear power company and the for the particular level of certification. So like this basically things are also basically there. So in next part basically we are going to see a little bit more about this only.